Below the Belt TV, we're here today with Hosea Burton, former Lonsdale belt holder. How you doing? Nice to be with you.
I'm good, thanks.
Good. So, like I said, there's many things we could talk about right now. One of the things I wouldn't mind knowing first and foremost is what got you into boxing.
My dad, my family, me hearing stories of my granddad, that he was a fighting man, he was unbeaten bare knuckle fighting man. So, you know, when you hear these stories, it sort of inspires you. You know, you want to be known. You know, even being a little boy, I was wanting to be the same kind of man as my granddad and my dad was.
Yeah.
So my dad used to go to the gym all the time, and first time I went to the gym, I was 6-year-old. I used to cry to go to the gym with him. So one day, I just went. That was it.
Just said, come on.
And the old trainer there, old Paul Dunn, he's dead now. God rest him. But he said you usually got to be 10 before you can come to the gym, unless you pass the test. And I thought I was on a proper test. So I showed him everything I knew, and he said, right, he said, you've passed the test.
At 6?
You're at 6, but it was no test, was there? It was just, as long as I listened, you know, that was the thing. You usually get kids running around the gym, weren't you, swinging on the bags and whatever, but I listened. I wanted to be a boxer straight away, so.
That's interesting, man. But like you said, it's more so a family thing where your granddad was a bare knuckle fighter. It's been the whole part of the culture.
Yeah. Well, that's the same kind of look, everyone knows Tyson's my cousin. Tyson's got into boxing because look, his dad was a fighting man. His granddad is my granddad. You know,
Tyson Fury, yeah.
Tyson Fury, yeah, because our granddad's the same man, big Hosea Burton. You know, they're the same man.
Okay.
That's on his mother's side.
Yeah.
On his father's side, they've got fighting men as well. Bartley Gorman is a bare knuckle fighting man. You know, so fighting's in us.
Yeah.
You know, so Tyson's a fighting man. It's only what's in you comes out of you. So
you've really gone down the right path.
Well, we was no good at football either. So.
Let's knock a few heads in. And we had an off-camera discussion, I think, and you said that you actually been with who you're with now, Joe Gallagher, since you were 12 years old, right? Yeah.
Well, from Sale West, we came up sparring one day, and we sparred a couple of the lads, and I wasn't really. Paul Dunn, he was getting a little bit old, and he wasn't getting us the amount of fights that we thought we should have been getting. You know, I was only a schoolboy. There was loads of kids my age and weight in Manchester, but just never seemed to be getting as many fights. So we came up for sparring one day, and we seen the setup. We liked the way Joe's kids all sparred. You know, that every one of them could fight. So we asked Joe, is it all right if we come up next week? So we came up next week, and then that was it basically. We went there ever since. Joe took to us, and since 12-year-old, I was training with Joe.
That's major. For your whole amateur career, all the way to being a pro now.
You know, in fact, I might have even been 11 when I went with Joe, because I was in the extra junior schoolboys. I think I was 11-year-old when I joined with Joe. So it's a long time. It's a long time.
Literally from the age of 6.
Nearly a lifetime.
Yeah, literally by far. I mean, most people in their 6 they're just playing with Transformers and, you know what I mean, Kung Fu, whatever, and you're there boxing.
I had a few wrestling men at the time as well, but you know, I was mainly a boxer.
Yeah. And where we are now, like, correct me if I'm wrong, 20 fights, 20 wins, 21 fights actually.
21, I think it's 21. Yeah, 21 fights, 20 wins, 10 knockouts, 1 crappy loss, but there we go.
Let's go into this, because it's almost a shame to call it a loss. It's like one of those, like when you're watching a fight and you think, you know, if it could have been a draw, it probably would have been a good shot, maybe, or, you know, I don't know what the best way to say it, but a loss sounds a bit harsh, because that was a good fight.
No, a loss is a loss, right? And fair play, he done what he needed to do, but he was losing that fight all the way through. There's not a round he won up until the 11th when I got pushed over. I got a count for that, so obviously they gave him that round, but I was winning that round all the way through until I was going through the ropes, I was going to land on the judges' tables, so I touched down. So I got a count for that. That should have nowhere been a count. And in the 12th round, if anybody watches, I was winning the 12th round, and I caught him a few good shots. He stumbled back, and I went in to finish him. I got myself finished.
And for those that don't know, we're talking about Frank Buglioni, right?
Yes.
Was that your first defence of the?
That was the first defence. Yeah, I meant to have a couple of defences before that, but one was Tony Dodson. He pulled out with Achilles tendon. He snapped his Achilles tendon. So yeah, similar to David Hay, but legitimate ones. So he snapped his Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
Then I was meant to fight a couple of other people, but the boxing board turned him down. But since then, you know, I boxed Buglioni. He beat me. Buglioni's boxed one of those guys who the boxing board turned down. I actually forget his name. I was trying to think of it before, but from Birmingham, you know who you are. Yeah. So.
I know the fight you're talking about, but I can't remember the guy's name as well, to be honest with you.
Digger, everyone knows him as Digger.
Alright, what's it called? Yeah,
he's actually a nice man. I talked to him as well. I speak to him on Facebook and everything. I just forgot his name. My mind's went blank.
Oh no.
So.
And you say the British board, they turned that guy down? But
yeah, they turned him down. They turned Ricky Summers. That's his name.
Yeah.
I forgot it. Sorry,
of course,
Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they turned him down, but that was like he was unbeaten at the time. They turned down Tommy Tatham. They turned down Liam Conroy. You know, there was a fair few. You know, Liam Conroy's now ranked above me in light heavyweights. Tommy Tatham, I don't know where he's at now, but I know he's unbeaten. You know, they've turned a few down, which should have been fights, because look, Frank Buglioni, no disrespect to is it Spider Richardson or something, who he beat the other day on short notice when Callum pulled out.
I think he had a fight 3 weeks before, right?
Yeah, he was a super middleweight though. He boxed he's a super middleweight. He's ranked 15 at super middleweight. When I was British champion, I wanted to fight the top 10 at light heavyweight. But anyway, he's got his fights in. He's only one fight now away from keeping the belt, which by rights he should be fighting me for the belt.
But there's a bit of history behind what you're talking about right now, because from what I understand is Frank Buglioni was meant to fight Callum Johnson, right, one of your stablemates, and he had to pull out due to injury and personal issues, etc. And I believe you asked to step into that fight, right?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
It was 10 days notice it was.
Yeah.
Callum Johnson pulled out. He had to go to the hospital. He's had millions of checks on him. So
is he okay now?
He's okay. Yeah, he's some of his results is coming back okay. So that's good. That's touch wood. Everything comes back okay. But when he pulled out, I'm what you call a gym rat. I'm always in the gym. You know, I'm never 3 weeks from being fit.
Yeah.
You know, some people need full 12 weeks. You know what? If you give me a few weeks notice, my weight will be down. I'll be
jump
right.
on a skipping rope.
Yeah, I'll be right. I'll be ready to fight. But when Callum pulled out, I was more than willing to take the fight, because I know Frank won that fight, but he was the beaten man in that. You know, he had 4 cuts on his face. He was hurt. You know.
That was a nominee for Fight of the Year. That one, definitely.
It was Round of the Year, nominee for Fight of the Year. You know, it was one of them fights that people want to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, everyone other than Frank wants that fight to happen again, and you know, to be fair, we should give him that fight again. You know, to give the public and the fans that fight.
I've heard there's a bit of history with you and Frank from the amateur days, right?
Yeah, there is. Me and Frank, that was the last time I ever made 75 kilos. It was just before the Olympics. Anthony Ogogo actually got the spot. It was a GB box off, and I got picked. Me and Frank had to fight for it, but I was too big for 75 kilos, and then making 75 kilos. Look, I would have made lightweight to go to the Olympics. It's one of them things. You know, I made 75 kilos, but I wasn't me. He won the first, and I was like 6 or 7 points down after the first, and I come out into the second, and I beat him up the second. I nearly stopped him in the second, but then I used all my gas. You know, I was running on fumes, and he beat me. It was a good fight.
Was it a decision?
Yeah, decision fight, but it was a good fight then, and. Frank was one of those people I never ever rated. You know, he was. I'm not taking nothing bad away from him, but if you watch his fights, he doesn't do much good. He's got an engine. You know, he's fit, he's strong, but boxing skill, evading punches, hit not be hit, he has 0. You know, he's not really good, and that's not being disrespectful, because look, the man's beat me. He beat me twice, but to be fair, he beat me once. I was too big for the weight, and then I beat him for 10 out of 12 rounds. Now I know it's a 12-round fight, but still.
No, it was a hell of a fight, man.
It was a good
It
fight.
was like one of those Rocky movies or something. It got right to the end.
Yeah.
AJ undercard. I remember that very, very well.
Rocky, and I was like Apollo or something.
You're big like Drago, though. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I move like Apollo. I prefer the Apollo cream.
Yeah.